Okay, so if your dough is ready, what we're going to do for our first step is we're going to prepare the pan, and then we are going to just make sure that we have everything ready, the supplies we need and all that, and then we will roll it out and cut it and get it into our pan. It is going to require another rise time because it's bread and that's what it does. You can do this one in your fridge if you need to, or you can do it out on the counter. So what we want to do is we want to start off with our pan. Now I'm using this like 8x8 or 9x9 square pan today because I actually the recipe I have is a smaller batch than the one that we did in class that you'll be doing. So you need a 9 by 13. Let me. Nope. Nope. Yes. No. Yes. 9 by 13. Sorry, sometimes numbers don't stick in my head for very long. I read it right before I started the video, and then I was like, oh, I don't want to tell you wrong. 9 by 13. So you're looking for a rectangular pan. And if you're not sure if your pan is a 9 by 13, see if you have a ruler or a measuring tape or something that you can actually measure it with. And speaking of which, when we roll out this dough, it's actually a great idea to have measuring tape or a ruler or something nearby because we're going to measure it out to a certain length to make sure it's the right size. So if you don't have that, that's one of the things you can get. You want to have your filling nearby. We also need butter that is quite soft. Okay, the softer it is, the easier it is to spread. If you need to pop it in your microwave just for a tiny, tiny amount of time, like 5 seconds, do that because if it's hard, this is going to be like impossible and you know, it'll be no fun. We don't want it melted though. Okay, we just want it very soft. So those are the things you need to have really before the next video. So what we're going to do is we'll just grease our pan, and then the next video just make sure you have all those things out, and we'll get going with it. Okay, so I'm going to grease my pan, and I'm just using a shortening. You can use a butter or whatever it is in your house you like to use. A spray should be fine. You can also add parchment paper to this as well if you want to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to grease mine. So whenever I grease my pan, I just want to make sure that I'm really getting the bottoms really well. I'm getting into all of these corners all the way down the bottom. These are the places where things really like to stick. That's right there in the corners. So I kind of actually like to do the corners first. Go up all the way up. One of the things about cinnamon rolls is that it does have sort of stuff that kind of leaks out of it some. You know, the filling part will sometimes kind of leak out. And that part can get extra sticky on the bottom or the sides. So we really want to make sure that we're thoroughly greasing our pan. All right, so before you start the next video, you need a rolling pin. We're going to lightly flour our surface and make sure your surface is clean and dry. We talked about this in class when we were kneading it. If you have leftover coffee grounds or whatever on your counter, that's going to end up in your cinnamon rolls, and depending on what it is, probably not going to be something you want in your cinnamon rolls. So make sure that it's clean and dry before you start. It has to be totally dry, or else when you put the flour on it, it's just going to make kind of like a sticky, messy paste. We just need flour just to set lightly on top. We need the rolling pin. If you have measuring tape or a ruler somewhere, grab it, and your filling and your butter. Okay, and so for the butter, you can spread it on with a little butter knife. An offset spatula would also work. You can try a pastry brush and see if you like that. You know, you can kind of like experiment a little bit with what works best for you. We're also going to be using a knife to cut it into our cinnamon rolls. So just have all those supplies ready, and then we'll get to it.